Hello peoples. Well, it's time to do something that's been on the back burner for a long time, and that is Classics Mirage. And the reason I've waited until now is I want to wait for this movie line Fracture. Okay, so right here we have Mirage and Fracture, and before I get into them too much, I just want to explain to everybody that doesn't already know, Fracture is actually based on a GoBot, and what the deal is, they were able to take, and after Hasbro, from what I understand, purchased the rights to all the GoBots, they can use all their character designs as their own, pretty much. The name for this was originally Crasher, but from what I understand, the name was unavailable, so Fracture sounds very similar, I guess. And here's what the original looked like over here in this corner. I'm trying to get into using the picture-in-picture to show stuff. Very interesting paint scheme on this. Very well thought out with everything, it looks like, and that's because Hasbro didn't think of it. It's a the colors are modeled after an actual F1 car from Russia. The only real graphics, because so much paint went into making this paint scheme, is Crasher's #1 right here on the sides and also in the front. Mirage has his numbers in just about the same areas, but Mirage also has, because not so much of his color scheme is paint, you have FP Racing on the side, the Witwicky spark plugs, and Lithuanian drivetrain on the front spoiler. So he looks more sponsor ready than this, which is pretty plain looking. Still a good looking car, but just not as advertisement laden. So to transform this, let's just go ahead and transform Mirage. First thing you're going to do, turn him over and take the front spoiler off. That becomes his weapon. Next thing you're going to do is take the legs and just wiggle them a little bit and pull them straight back to make the legs, or make the back end into the legs rather. Turn them over one more time. Take, and the arms clip into this notch in the waist right there. Just unpeg that, turn the arms and put them out to the side, straighten them out into something that looks more like arms. Turn them at the waist 180 degrees. And then this part right here with his racing number, just push that down. Oh, rotate this piece right here with the intake ducts on it also. I forgot that part. Take that, just fold it down, and it doesn't really clip into place or nothing, which is, you know, it's not that great, but it's pretty stable regardless, so I can live with it. And once you get him to that point, the only thing left to do is to flip out his little hands. Alright, so there's Mirage and Fracture together. The two color schemes are completely different. They're using totally different paint masks for each figure. I like them both. If you missed out on Mirage during the first classics, you know, don't feel bad that you're missing them. Just, you know, it's still a good mold and still a good color scheme with Fracture. There are some areas where it really could use some more paint on Fracture, like the spoiler looks extremely plain, just the all white. Probably wouldn't take much effort at all to redo it with the black edging like the front spoiler, and I imagine it would look very sharp, which I may end up doing that on this figure. So anyway, The only thing really that this figure lost when being repainted is the light piping. Mirage has light piping, which I doubt I'm going to get to work right here. But, no, it's not lighting up. But, just a little close-up of Fracture's face. Yes, it is pink. Yes, that's accurate to the character. And actually, it doesn't even look that bad, surprisingly. The only real complaints I have heard about this figure is the way he's built. He's almost like a hunchback, where you've got all this bulk behind his head and above his shoulders, which I don't really mind. I mean, the figure is so different looking overall. I mean, with the very extremely thin waist, broad shoulders, and just ginormous legs, that, you know, it's just a unique figure. It's stylized looking. It's good to have something different every once in a while. Extremely posable figure. Very stable as well with how heavy the legs are. I mean, you can get him standing on one leg. In most figures, you know, you guys get him leaned way over to get him to stand on one leg. And I've probably actually got him leaned over more than I have to. I mean, that right there, he's already, just with about, I guess, 10 degrees lean, extremely stable. The legs are posable enough that I don't know why you'd want to do it, but you can actually get them posed to where, take the gun away, you can actually pose them standing there looking at the bottom of their own feet very easily. If I can get, that's the only thing that hampers the posability, is the foot is mounted on an offset ball joint right here, so it's not the greatest. You could probably tighten the ball joint up a little bit and it'd be a lot better, but it's definitely livable. I mean, I like it a lot. This figure is probably, this mold is one of my favorite to have come out of the original Classics series. Oh, before I forget it, you can also, if you don't want the weapon in their hand, you can stow it on this little panel in the back. But I ain't got much to say about this figure, except you really owe it to yourself to have at least one of this mold. And depending on which one you like better, like I said, don't feel pressure to go and, you know, spend the extra money to get Mirage off eBay. If you can find this Fracture for $10 from Walmart, it's still a good figure. You know, it's not a Transformer, it's a GoBot, but really, on a figure this well thought out and this true to the original, I don't see a problem with that. You have a good day.